Let's be honest, the moment you notice her attention fading, a quiet panic starts creeping in. You don't always see it coming, and yet, deep down, you feel it, her interest slipping through your fingers like sand. Most men believe once a woman loses attraction, it's permanent. That's a lie she's never told you, and frankly, a lie society lets you believe. Attraction isn't a fixed state. It's a dance, a push and pull of psychology, emotion, and timing. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Women can be drawn back to the same man she once walked away from. But not because you've begged, pleaded, or tried to convince her. That only pushes her further. She's pulled by something far deeper, something rooted in instinct, curiosity, and the hidden mechanisms of her mind. You see, when a woman loses interest, it's rarely about who you are. It's about the gap between her perception of you and the story she's telling herself. Maybe you were too predictable, too available, or maybe you let her feel in control. She's wired to seek challenge, excitement, and the subtle thrill of a man who isn't easy to possess. That gap, the one between comfort and desire, is the secret key most men miss. Once she steps away, she starts replaying moments in her mind. She remembers the spark, the laughter, the way you made her feel alive, but she also starts noticing what's missing in her current life. And here's where it gets fascinating. Absence doesn't just make the heart grow fonder, it awakens her internal chemistry. Dopamine spikes when she recalls the tension, the unpredictability, the moments she couldn't figure you out. That tension is magnetic, and it's not something you manufacture by texting more or apologizing. Understand this. Women are subconsciously drawn to challenges that make them feel seen, yet make them chase something elusive. Once she steps back, your value isn't just in what you do, it's in how you exist. Are you rebuilding your own life, growing in ways she can't ignore? Or are you shrinking, clinging, desperate for her validation? The irony is brutal. The less you chase, the more her mind begins to chase you. She doesn't realize she's testing herself, testing her feelings, wondering if she acted too fast in walking away. This is a psychological loop few men recognize, yet it's entirely predictable once you know the rules. But there's more. Women often return not because they've changed their mind, but because they've unconsciously observed a transformation. Your absence, your quiet strength, your unwavering focus on your own life, it triggers reflection. She starts asking herself questions she couldn't before. Did I undervalue him? Did I ignore his worth? Could I be missing something I never truly appreciated? And here's the most critical point. It isn't manipulation, it isn't mind games, it's human nature. You're being measured silently while you live your life with authenticity. She's drawn not to what you say now, but to what you represent. A man who isn't controlled by her whims, a man whose life has meaning beyond her attention. By the time she even notices this, the seed of attraction is already planted again, and it grows faster than you'd imagine, especially if she experiences any friction, loneliness, or longing in her life that your presence once fulfilled. This isn't magic. It's chemical, emotional, and psychological, and it always begins with one harsh but liberating truth. Her attraction isn't gone. It was dormant, waiting for the right conditions to resurface. The truth most men never hear is that you don't reignite her attraction by trying harder. That's the trap. The moment you panic, the moment you try to win her back through constant attention, gifts, or apologies, you reinforce exactly why she lost interest in the first place. Women don't crave desperation. They crave challenge, authenticity, and a man whose life exists beyond her approval. If she left, it wasn't always about you being inadequate. It was about her perception that she already had control, and control kills desire. The psychology is ruthless, but understanding it gives you an unfair advantage. Here's the subtle art most men miss. Your value isn't measured by how much she notices you. It's measured by what she perceives you living for yourself. She notices your confidence, your ambition, your ability to thrive independently. Even small changes, subtle shifts in your routine, can create a ripple effect that captivates her mind without a single word exchanged. When she sees that life moves forward, that your energy isn't trapped in waiting for her approval, her mind begins to subconsciously reassess her choices. She notices the space you occupy in the world, and the emptiness she left behind becomes a mirror for her own loss. But it's not just about your growth, it's about how you make her feel. Women are wired to respond to emotion first, logic second. She may not be able to explain why she's thinking about you, why memories of you surface at unexpected moments, or why a simple photo or phrase triggers longing. That's her subconscious stirring. She's experiencing what psychologists call the rebound of desire, a phenomenon where absence rekindles attraction stronger than before. But here's the catch: she must feel she earned it, that she's discovering something she can't control. If you force the encounter, you destroy the tension that makes her heart race. Understanding timing is everything. Human emotion doesn't operate on schedules, yet patterns emerge. Women often return when they encounter friction in their lives, a sense of missing fulfillment, excitement, or validation that once came naturally from your presence. It isn't about being needy, it's about her internal recalibration. Every interaction she has, every man she meets, every experience she faces without you becomes a reference point. And here's the secret weapon: patience. Silence, self-improvement, and emotional consistency create the invisible pull. She begins replaying past moments with clarity, realizing the unique energy you provided cannot be replicated by anyone else. Your role isn't manipulation, it's self-mastery. By elevating your life, you're indirectly reminding her of what she once felt but undervalued. The moments of nostalgia, the memories of laughter, the thrills she once had, these emotions resurface naturally. She may try to rationalize it, resist it, or even ignore it, but the chemistry is relentless. And the most powerful part? You're no longer waiting for permission to exist, to be happy, or to be seen. You are irresistible because your life is magnetic and she can't help but be drawn to it. So understand this: attraction is never truly lost. It sleeps and it wakes when the conditions are right. Your absence, your growth, and your unwavering focus on yourself are the catalysts that bring her back to the same man she once walked away from, without you chasing, begging, or compromising your worth. This is not theory. This is the hidden truth of female psychology, the unspoken reality men rarely recognize, yet it's always predictable once you see the patterns clearly. Most men think attraction is about grand gestures, constant attention, or proving themselves over and over. That's a lie. True attraction is subtle. It lives in the invisible, in the gaps between what's said and unsaid, in the energy you carry when you don't even realize she's watching. The moment she lost interest, her mind didn't stop processing. You did. She started cataloging memories, emotions, the way you made her feel alive, even when you weren't perfect. And here's the secret most men miss: women fall back in love with the emotional narrative they created with you, not the superficial details. Think about it. Every argument you had, every passionate moment, every laugh shared, she remembers them differently than you do. Her mind rewrites the story to highlight what mattered emotionally, to intensify the longing for what she can't have now. That means the key to pulling her back isn't persuasion. It's creating the conditions for her mind to revisit that story. Absence, unpredictability, and emotional consistency all work together like magnets. You don't chase. You become the story she cannot stop thinking about. Here's a psychological fact most men never hear. When a woman loses interest, part of her brain still craves what was emotionally satisfying. It's dopamine, oxytocin, and adrenaline all mixed into a chemical cocktail she can't consciously control. But the pull only happens when you're unavailable in the right way. Not cold, not desperate, not punishing, but deliberately living life with boundaries, goals, and momentum. Your growth, your purpose, your emotional stability, It all becomes irresistible without you saying a single word. She notices not because you told her to, but because her mind registers the value she lets slip away. Now let's talk about triggers, those invisible levers that reignite desire. Nostalgia is one. A song, a place, a phrase you once shared can flood her brain with emotions she suppressed. Another is self-sufficiency. Seeing you thrive without her attention reminds her of what she lost, creating subtle tension that pulls her back. And unpredictability. Small changes in your habits, new achievements, or social proof creates curiosity, a deep psychological itch she can't scratch. It's not manipulation, it's natural human response. The more she wonders, the more she reflects, the stronger the pull becomes. But here's the most critical element. You must stay detached from outcome. Desperation kills all attraction instantly. Every man who fails does so because he confuses her curiosity with permission. Attraction doesn't respond to pleading, it responds to emotional distance and self-mastery. The woman you want will notice your transformation, not because you're trying to impress, but because you're no longer defined by her presence or absence. That clarity, that independence, is what makes her heart question itself, her mind replay old feelings, and her emotions stir in ways she didn't expect. Finally, understand this. The psychology behind lost and regained attraction isn't about trickery. It's about timing, emotion, and authenticity. You become the man she cannot forget by living fully, emotionally, and purposefully. The more your life glows without her, the more she subconsciously evaluates the value she once dismissed. And when that pull rises, it's no longer about what she lost. It's about what she desires and can't recreate elsewhere. That is the unspoken, often brutal truth of female psychology. What most men fail to grasp is that attraction isn't just sparked by grand gestures or fancy words. It's built in small, consistent patterns. Women are masters at reading emotional energy, even when you think you're hiding it. Every micro-expression, every tone of voice, every confident silence communicates more than hours of talking ever could. When she lost interest, it wasn't just because of what you did. It was because her subconscious registered subtle cues that made her feel either predictable, complacent, or unchallenged. That's the window to reignite her attraction, mastery of the small but powerful patterns she notices unconsciously. First, understand presence. Women are drawn to men who command their own life with quiet confidence, not arrogance, not neediness, presence. When you're fully engaged in your goals, passions, and relationships outside of her, she senses a magnetic energy she can't replicate elsewhere. That energy triggers reflection. She begins comparing herself to your world and wonders why she's no longer part of it. Emotional curiosity spikes, often without her realizing it. And here's the kicker. She'll subconsciously look for ways to reconnect because she craves the emotional tension and fulfillment she once had with you. Second, emotional stability is everything. Chaos, panic, or overreaction kills desire instantly. When she lost interest, part of her brain may have detected emotional volatility or inconsistency. To reverse that, you don't manipulate, you stabilize. By mastering your emotions, showing resilience in the face of life's challenges, and maintaining calm when she tests your energy, you subtly signal value she can't ignore. Women are drawn to men who remain unshaken because it mirrors safety, confidence, and control, the exact traits that ignite long-term attraction. Third, subtle scarcity is a secret weapon, not in a manipulative, I'm too busy for you way, but in a natural way that prioritizes your life and boundaries. Scarcity amplifies desire because humans instinctively value what isn't easily obtainable. By living a life that's full, rewarding, and independent of her attention, you allow her subconscious mind to chase what she once dismissed. Every encounter becomes charged with anticipation and curiosity. Every thought of you triggers reflection. Why isn't he reaching out? What is he doing that's so captivating? That's the silent power of scarcity paired with authenticity. Fourth, Consistency in growth signals transformation. Women notice change even when you think it's invisible. Physical improvement, social proof, professional success, or emotional intelligence, all of these act as cues to her subconscious that the man she once lost is now someone new, someone she can't control or predict, and someone worth revisiting. She may not consciously acknowledge it, but her emotions respond before her logic does. That tension, that longing, is a psychological pull stronger than any words you could speak. Finally, understand timing. You don't force her back. You allow her subconscious to guide the process. Each small pattern of confidence, emotional stability, presence, and growth builds a magnetic field around you that she cannot resist. The woman who once walked away is now observing, questioning, feeling, and ultimately realizing, without even knowing why, that what she lost is far more valuable than she first understood. Attraction isn't rebuilt in desperation. It's cultivated silently, invisibly, and powerfully. Most men sabotage their own chances of reigniting attraction because they misunderstand desire. They think showing more attention, more emotion, or more availability will pull her back. That's the opposite of what works. Women are drawn to tension, unpredictability, and the thrill of emotional connection that feels earned, not handed over. The moment you chase, the magnetic pull fades. Desire isn't built in logic. It's built in emotional tension, and tension is invisible, silent, and powerful. Here's the reality. When a woman loses interest, her mind doesn't shut off. It simmers with memories, emotions, and subconscious comparisons she can't articulate. She remembers the way you made her feel, the adrenaline, the laughter, the intimacy of being truly understood, and she notices the void your absence leaves. That void is where attraction regrows, but only if you allow it to. If you fill it with overeagerness or neediness, you smother the spark. Instead, you must cultivate subtle tension by existing fully in your own world, showing her, without saying it, that you are emotionally and socially valuable beyond her attention. Timing, again, is everything. She must feel she is discovering your value on her own. This is why unpredictability matters. Small shifts in energy, new achievements, and life experiences create curiosity, and curiosity is irresistible. She will find herself analyzing your actions, questioning why you seem different, and unconsciously comparing herself to the man you are becoming. Emotional tension grows when she senses the man she once knew is evolving, thriving, and unattainable in a way she never anticipated. That tension is a silent invitation, an invisible pull she cannot resist if she is emotionally available. Emotional triggers also play a critical role. Nostalgia, subtle reminders, shared experiences, and even indirect social proof, friends commenting on your success or your presence in social spaces, can reignite desire without a word. Women process these cues subconsciously, and they act as catalysts, reconnecting her emotions to the man she once valued. The key is subtlety, too obvious, and it looks manipulative. Perfectly timed, natural, and authentic, it sparks a fire that she believes originated within her, not from your actions. The most overlooked element is self-possession. Women are drawn to men who are fully in command of themselves, who prioritize their life, their growth, and their purpose. Your emotional independence becomes irresistible. She begins to reflect on the past, realizing that what she once dismissed as ordinary was actually extraordinary. That realization, combined with subtle tension and emotional triggers, creates a chemical pull. Dopamine, adrenaline, and oxytocin colliding to draw her back, often stronger than before. Finally, understand this. Attraction isn't about convincing, persuading, or chasing. It's about creating the conditions where she reconnects emotionally on her own terms. Your presence, energy, growth, and emotional mastery silently remind her of what she lost and what she truly desires. Desire is patient. It builds when nurtured invisibly. tension growing until the moment she can no longer resist acknowledging it. And when that moment comes, she will seek you out, not because of manipulation, but because your life, energy, and emotional mastery demand recognition. The most powerful truth men rarely see is this: attraction isn't a transaction, and it isn't a reward for effort. It's a mirror of your life, your energy, and the emotional story you project. The woman who walked away is not lost. She's observing, evaluating, and feeling, even if she isn't saying a word. She notices the subtle ways you've evolved, the quiet confidence that radiates from your presence, and the emotional stability that she unconsciously craves. That pull, that longing, is created not by chasing, but by existing fully as the man she once underestimated. Here's where most men fail. They wait for her to return, constantly checking her attention, seeking validation, or trying to recreate what was lost. That desperation kills desire instantly. Women are wired to sense neediness as a threat to attraction. The truth is, the moment you stop seeking permission for your worth, the moment you embrace your independence, growth, and purpose, you become magnetic. She may try to rationalize it, resist it, or ignore the pull, but emotion always overrides logic. Your authenticity, energy, and self-mastery are now the irresistible force she can't stop thinking about. Think about it. Every interaction she has now, every man she meets, every experience she faces without you becomes a reference point. She is constantly comparing her past, present, and future emotional fulfillment to the way you made her feel. That comparison triggers subtle longing and reflection. She starts replaying shared moments, revisiting memories, and subconsciously realizing that what she lost cannot be replicated elsewhere. That's the science of attraction. Absence and growth combined create desire stronger than any pleading, texting, or chasing ever could. And here's the final truth most men never hear. The woman who returns to the same man she lost interest in isn't coming back because of manipulation or because you tried harder. It's because you lived authentically, emotionally, and purposefully without her. She is drawn to the magnetic energy of a man who cannot be owned, controlled, or predicted. Your life, your presence, and your evolution create tension, desire, and curiosity that compel her to reconnect on her own terms. That's power, silent, invisible, and unshakable. So now think about your life. Are you being the man she once underestimated but now cannot ignore? Are you growing, thriving, and mastering your emotional energy? Or are you still trapped in old patterns that pushed her away? Here's a personal equation I want you to solve right now in your mind and share in the comments. Your life plus self-mastery plus emotional distance equals ? Answer in the comments and tell me what that equation means for your attraction power. If this truth hit you, like the video, subscribe for more insights into female psychology and share this with a friend who needs to hear it, because attraction, tension, and desire aren't luck, they're mastered. And now, you know how.